Nick fucking Cage. Yeah, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I caught this Thursday. For anyone who's been paying attention to the community thread, the reason I have the mask on is I did test positive like yesterday for COVID. However, it was a rapid test. Um, no one else around me, is including the people in my household have it, and I just got I can't remember what it's actually called, the proper test today. I don't really have much of the symptoms. I do have a sore throat. I'm only a little bit stuffed up, and I have a cough to go with the sore throat. But other than that, though, the aches and joint pains I had yesterday, the chills, they're gone today. So what I'm hoping is that it was actually a false positive, and I just got like one of those 24-hour, 48-hour bugs. A little like knock it out of day kind of flus, because all my worst symptoms are already gone. That's what I'm hoping anyway. And when I get the actual test result in, I'll have a better understanding. But until then, I'm quarantining at the house, keeping the mask on around the people who do live here, my dad, and, the other people included. So yeah, but that does not mean I still can't do videos. If anything, it means that I get a couple days extra off work to rest up and all that. So with that said, what did I think of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent? Well, to be very clear, I didn't see the first 10 minutes of the film. My girlfriend was late, and I didn't want to go in without her, so I waited for her, and she felt a little bad about that, but ultimately it worked out because we both very much enjoyed the film. It is very much what it is. Um, it's a self-aware meta action comedy about Nicolas Cage playing a fictionalized version of himself. Now, the thing about the whole Nick friggin' Cage line, which is actually in the movie, it's Nick effing Cage, is that apparently got revealed very early on. It's like it's apparently a mental version of himself, a la Birdman, that is tormenting him. A younger, more successful version of it, which is why in the comments or the description box, the line, Nick Cage Smooch is good. Let everyone know that Nick Cage Smooch is good. Because my girlfriend walks out at one point to get some snacks, comes back in, only to see Nick Cage making out with himself in a scene. And it's just like, what do you say to that? It's like, she's like, I clearly missed something. Yeah, you kind of did. But look, I've been on record saying I've never been a huge Nick Cage fan, but that's not to say I hate Nick Cage or anything like that. I think he works in the right roles, uh, and this was definitely the right role. He played himself, the fictionalized version of himself, pretty much to a T. You feel the obviously he can play humor, like he's an extremely gifted comedic actor, honestly, and it's that kind of he's got like a weird blend of wacky deadpan, which is hilarious. He's like a wacky straight man. That's exactly what it is. It's like a straight man who knows when to not be the straight man and knows the perfect time not to be the straight man. And he's got scenes that with Pedro Pascal in here that I am laughing my ass off in the scene. There's a scene involving him and Neil Patrick Harris in the trailer within the spa, and it's hilarious. But going to Pedro, the the bromance between these two is so freaking adorkable. I think it's literally like two kids on the playground in school just chitting the chat and just like yeah, it's like, hey, I like your shoes. Oh, I like your shoes. Yeah. Yeah, you want to try mine on? Yeah. You want to trade them for keeps? Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah. It's like they do such a good job of making you love the relationship between these two guys and obviously in the trailer they imply things like it's like you don't want it to be ruined between them. But things happen in the movie, and whether or not that gets ruined, well, I'll leave it for you guys to be the judge of that. But no, while it's great at the humor, I mean, it is actually it's a very funny movie. It also is playing up the fact that Nick Cage, for a while, do I want to use the term was a joke? I I don't know if I want to use that, but it what did seem like Nick Cage lost the it did seem like Nick Cage lost his footing in the Hollywood system for a while. Um, and and there's a whole as like, you're back. We're back. Not that we ever went anywhere. It's one of those things, and they do play that up. They play up the whole idea of quitting, him just being like, I'm done, I'm quitting acting. And him just feeling completely down on himself, only for him to ultimately, come back in the end. However, he ends up doing it, obviously. Uh, if I were to say there was anything I did not like in the film, I liked his family and the relationship with his family. And by that I mean the dysfunctional relationship, like the fact that he has not been the best parent or spouse. I like that. I like his relationship with Pedro that sells the film. The action, the little bits we get of action is actually pretty fun. Like there's nothing amazing, but it's not like groundbreaking. But for what the movie you got, it's actually pretty entertaining. But if I'm going to actually say anything negative about the film, it is the CIA aspect of it. First off, clearly Ike Baron, gotta get this guy's name right. Ike Barentholtz and Tiffany Haddish as actors and performers don't exist in this world. So there's that. As obviously neither does Pedro Pascal. Um, but after the film was done, me and my girlfriend kind of both go and look at or kind of look at you and goes like, yeah, is it just because the CIA like complete dumbasses in this movie? Like these agents are not good at their jobs. And without saying what happens with that subplot, yeah, there's lines of dialogue where they even point out that, like for instance, Tiffany Haddish's agent has effed up before, and the fact that she's the one who brings Nick Cage into it shows that she's not that good an agent to begin with, and Ike's not that much better either, or that he was better, and then things ultimately went wrong at some point. Either way, like it's constant. The movie is constantly showing how Nick Cage actually did have a better grasp of the situation than they did, and how they're not the most competent of people. And not that I really care if they insult the CIA, but I'm like, well, I know you need that plot point in there, but couldn't you have made them seem a bit more competent? I don't know. It's my opinion. I can't say I hated it. They still got some laughs, absolutely, but not my favorite part of the movie. I was just anytime they came on screen, I'm like, yeah, can we just get back to Pedro and Nick? They're I want the bromance. I need them to bro out together, man. It just makes me happy, makes my heart smile. And apparently the clip's online now, so yeah, the Paddington 2 joke. My friends, I have been preaching the choir of the Paddington series for a while now. I don't bring it up as much, but when those movies came out, I definitely was preaching how much I love those movies. The Paddington movies are gold. I love the fact that it's like you can't stop stalling and tell me what's your third favorite movie. Paddington 2. What? Like, I cried throughout that entire movie. Just go, dude, Paddington 2 is fucking awesome. Ah, man. I very much enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It's very much aware of what it is, and as long as you can get behind the premise and the type of film it is, you should be able to enjoy yourself. Honestly, I would even argue my dad, who's not a Nick Cage fan at all, would probably like this. And to be fair, my uh, um, my dad doesn't like Keanu Reeves either, but I showed him the John Wick series, and he loved the John Wick series. So I don't know if this film comes up at some point. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll give it a shot with him, depending on what streaming service it shows up on. Anyway, that is my thought on the unbearable weight of massive talent. Really enjoyed it. I think if you are a Nick Cage fan, or even if you're not, if you like a decent comedy, um, will hopefully get a good, I think words here. You'll hopefully get a good time out of this movie. I have no idea what this is going to do at the box office. We actually had a fair number of people in the theater, not like a packed house necessarily, but at least 20 people in the theater, which is more than what I normally get on these opening nights. Outside of like your big Marvel movies and stuff like that. Yeah, but I can't, and I can't tell how well this film's going to do at the moment till I see the box office on Sunday to get an idea of where it's going to land just from where it starts. Because this film's made on 30 million. I looked into it. The Bad Guys is opening up this week. That's made on 53.5, if I'm not mistaken. And the Northman's made on roughly 80. So we're going to see how these films do this weekend. It's a packed weekend this week. It was my intent, by the way, if anyone's wondering. I know at least one person's wondering. To see the Bad Guys. But obviously, with a possible COVID diagnosis, I wasn't about to go out. And, even with a mask on and all that, I wasn't about to go out and, do that. So hopefully when I get the actual true test result in, it will turn out that it was a false positive for the rapid test and I just had a bit of a flu. Because really, right now, I feel I got a little bit of aches, but I think that's mostly because of the time of night and it getting a little cooler. Oh, my knee. Oh, God. I would say that my elbow just popped a bit. Ooh. But, it's one of those things where it's like clearly something was out of line. So it's like you get that, oh, and now you're like, oh, I feel better. Yeah, I got a little bit of ache. But I think that's, again, coming with the time of night and getting a little cooler and still recovering from whatever it is, COVID, 24-hour flu, whatever. But yeah, like I said, I only really got a sore throat and a little bit of a cough and a little bit of post-nasal stuff. So, I don't know. We'll find out when those results come in. Fingers crossed. Yeah, until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.